So as a lifetime internal combustion engine driver, I was pretty intrigued to see what my transition was going to be like moving from a gas-powered car to an all-electric car. I had so many questions that were unanswered and was honestly a little concerned. So far, the transition has been quite smooth. I do miss the old car, but only because I had it for so long and it was just a part of my life. But this new electric car is really growing on me. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to go over some things that I do like and don't like into my transition as a first-time electric car owner. Some of the points I will be covering are specifically Tesla related, but I'm going to try and center the video around just moving from a gas-powered car to an electric car. Cue the B-roll. So I think so far my number one favorite feature of an electric vehicle would have to be waking up with a full charge. Obviously, this is contingent upon you having your own charger at home or your apartment complex, wherever you live. But I think having that assurance of waking up to a full charge, I can't tell you how many times with my ICE car, I'd go down into a parking garage without knowing how much gas I'd have. Fortunately, my apartment complex offers chargers in the garage for pretty cheap and unlimited charging. Another feature I really enjoy driving an electric car would have to be the instant torque / one pedal driving. It just makes so much sense. I probably use my brake pedal once a day if I have to slow down quicker than expected. It surprisingly makes driving a lot more comfortable, not having to move your foot back and forth between the gas and brake pedals, or accelerator and brake pedals. Also, the instant torque is just incredible. As soon as you hit go, the car goes. You don't have to wait for fuel injectors or tiny explosions in your engine. When you let go of the accelerator, you feel the car start to slow down instantly. So the exact location of the pedal does correlate with your speed. It's really hard to explain, but really cool if you've never experienced it. I've only had my car for a couple of weeks now, but I hear overall you do save a lot of time and money on the maintenance costs. There are so few moving parts that it just doesn't require much maintenance at all. So I will probably do a future video on Tesla maintenance once I own the car longer. So I never realized how quiet a car could really be until I sat in an electric car. If you're just hanging out in the car, waiting for it to charge, waiting in a parking lot, it's very quiet. Sometimes uncomfortably quiet, but I'm getting used to it. Also, the storage compartments in the back and having that front trunk or frunk storage gives me peace of mind when I have a spot to lock things away when I'm out in public. So let's move on to the things I don't like as much about moving to an electric car. Now keep in mind, I really had to fish for these ideas. Owning the electric car has been an insanely positive experience, and it was really hard for me to find these negatives. Also, if there are things that you do or don't like about switching to an electric car from a gas-powered car, leave me your ideas down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So one small thing that has bugged me a couple of times after switching to the Tesla Model Y is the software bugs. It is a brand new car, so I understand that they still have some work to do, but there are a few things that are just kind of weird and caught me off guard. The first one is the windows. So there have been a couple of times where I struggled getting the windows rolled up. They'll go halfway up or halfway down, and then they'll reverse and go the way I didn't want them to go. It's kind of finicky sometimes. It doesn't happen very often, but it's a really weird software issue. Also with my back passenger window, I've noticed that every once in a while it'll roll down a couple of inches and I'll hear the road noise all of a sudden. I haven't been able to duplicate the situation. It's kind of just been random so far, but the windows are kind of a weird thing. The second area where I've noticed a couple of bugs were on the center console screen. One of them is my radio station favorites. I've noticed that every once in a while they'll disappear and I'll have to pull up the radio section, switch over to stations, and then back to favorites for the radio stations to appear again. Also, when switching through stations with the left scroll wheel, I've noticed a couple of times that it'll switch over to streaming music instead of switching radio stations. I don't know, maybe this is something I haven't figured out yet, but I'm still learning. I'm aware that all of these bugs are exclusive to Tesla, and not necessarily exclusive to electric cars. But this video is covering everything, so it's cool. So earlier I had touched on how much I enjoy how quiet the car is, but it can also be a negative for some people. I do have friends who are diesel heads and they really enjoy the sound of an engine roar, and that's something you don't really get in an electric. So if you love the sound of exhaust pipes, maybe don't switch to an electric car. So I think another negative, which is only temporary, is the lack of adoption of electric vehicle technology. When my wife and I were apartment hunting, we had to make sure that the apartment complex offered electric chargers. There were surprisingly a lot of apartments and condos that did not offer electric charging, nor were planning on having them anytime soon. So that was one key thing that we were looking for when we found our place, which we thankfully love. Obviously, if you own your own home or condo, it's a lot easier to just have somebody come out and install the charger for you. It can be a little expensive, but it's totally worth it with the amount of money you save from not having to pay for gas. There are some apps you can download, such as PlugShare or ChargePoint, to get an idea of how many chargers are in your area. On that note, the Tesla Supercharger network is pretty insane, and if you look at the map on their website, those chargers are everywhere. It would be really hard to find a gap between two cities that don't have a supercharger. Most major cities, such as Houston, where I live, have plenty of superchargers around that you can use. In conclusion, I think EVs are the future, and maybe you should consider picking one up for your next car. These things are game changers and really elevate driving to the next level. I highly recommend one. I also wanted to give a shout out to my buddy Chi from the UK. Thank you for your support, brother. Thanks again for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss my future videos, and I will see you guys soon. Peace!